All right, so Joe wants to create a counter trend signal. So when price hits the upper band, so if we look at this, he wants to generate a short signal to create a counter trend system here. And then if price crosses the lower band, then we'll generate a long signal there. All right, so here we go. I got BloodHound open. I'm going to switch over to the logic tab here. All right, yeah, so again, when price basically hits the upper band. And so I guess in this case, I'm going to say when the closing price. Let's see, unless Joe says otherwise. Let's see here. Close the bar. Okay, yeah. All right, so yeah, so we're going to use the close of the bar. Yeah, so when the close of the bar, basically, when it crosses the upper band, will generate a short signal. And of course, if it crosses the lower band, we'll generate a long signal. So let's grab a couple of crossover solvers to do this. Let's see. Actually, no, we're just going to need one crossover solver for this. All right, so let's give this a name here. So when the close crosses over the Bollinger Band, and I'm going to use CT for counter trend signal. There. All right, so input A, we want that to be price, and we're going to use the closing price. And then input B, that's going to be our Bollinger Band. And all right, there's our Bollinger. And we're using 2 and 21. So for the upper band, we want to generate short signals. So with the lower band, we're going to generate long signals. So there we go. So we just got to make sure that we get the plots selected correctly for long signals versus short signals. Or yeah, long signals versus short signals. Click OK. And there we have it. Bingo. Pretty straightforward. Let's see here. Oh, no, sorry. Almost. We want signals in the opposite direction. Yeah, there we go. Now that looks better. All right, so there we go. So we have the closing price, and sometimes it makes things a lot easier to look at if you use line on close for your bar type, or I mean chart style. All right, there we go. So that's our closing price as a line. So that makes it a lot easier to see when the closing price is crossing the bands here. Yeah, so we can see that the closing price basically is crisscrossing the bands quite a few times right there. There we go. We got a cross there, we have a cross there, and a cross there. All right, cool. So here, let me put it back on candlestick. Yeah, there we have it. Pretty straightforward. Just one crossover solver, and we were able to get all the signals. All right. Yeah. See. So Joe mentions that. Yeah. So when he gets a so if there's a long signal, if there's a short signal at the upper band, then he wants to set a target. I guess this would be a profit target at the lower band. But just for clarification for everybody, Blackbird could set a profit target at the lower band, but Raven cannot. All right, so just to be clear, if we go into the strategies here, right, and yeah, if we pull up Raven, as we can see, Raven has a simple offset profit target. So Raven's not capable of setting a profit target at the lower band, but Blackbird is. So the Blackbird part of the question, we'll have to wait till tomorrow's workshop there. So, but also Joe mentions that, let's see, how does he put this? Let's see, yeah, he mentions continuous trades. All right, yeah, so if you want this, so if you're not actually placing a profit target at the opposite band, and you just want to generate a always in the market type of system, trading system, yeah, then you can just take these signals and put them into Raven, and you can create a always in the market, trading system here. Yeah, so if we pull this back up, if we pull up Raven, right, essentially we would just, load our, let's see here, can I? Hold on. I actually need to close BloodHound first to save this back to the file. So none of this work has been saved back to the file yet because I haven't closed BloodHound. So as soon as I close it, that's going to save, right, that it's going to save these signals, right, all this work back to the file. So now if I pull up Raven, oop, I already have one on here. And now if I load up today's workshop file, and then I can see, oh, I didn't even give this a logic name here. Yeah, so I need to put a name in here. I need to rename the logic template here, but the new logic there is what I left it at. But the point I'm trying to get to is that for an always in the market system, right, you just basically, there's no profit target and no stop loss. Simply put, right? Because it's basically when it gets a short signal, it's going to go short, and then it's going to wait for the next long signal, then it'll go long, then it's going to wait for the next short signal, then it's going to go short, right? So it's always just reversing, basically. Yeah, so I guess if it's a continuous trades, that would be just continuously reversing without profit targets. So yeah, so you just leave the profit target and the stop loss at 0. Right? Leave them empty, and that would create an always in the market trading system here. All right, but he also wants to see signals with the trend. Right. All right. So let's do that part here. So let's remove Raven. All right. Let's get BloodHound back open. All right. So let's see here. Let's give this a name first before we go too far. All right. So we're basically just making Bollinger counter trend and trend signals. So here's our counter trend signals. And let's see. All right, so if we wanted, signals, basically signals in in the opposite direction there. I'm going to go to the solvers tab. So there's our crossover solver. I'm going to make a copy of it, and right, basically we'll make a with trend signal. So all we need to do. Yeah, it's just reverse the outputs there. Put the outputs back to normal, right? So we're just looking for signals that cross in the direction. But also, we need to go into the indicator and reverse, basically reverse our plot selection. So now we're using the upper band to generate long signals, and we're now using the lower band to generate short signals. All right, so we just needed to reverse those plots and set the output back to normal, crossing in direction. Yeah, there we go. So there's our new crossover solver. So we can just take that, go to our existing nodes. There's that new solver. And so now we can just select one or the other. So there we go. So there's signals, right, where price crosses the upper band in the direction of the cross. There we go. So you can just select, which of these crossover solvers you want to use for your signals. All right. So there you go. That looks like that was part 2 of Joe's question. And let's see here. All right. So here's a comment that just came in from Joey saying what he's looking to do is run one with trend and one counter trend. Okay. Yeah, so I mean, just so you know, Joe, in order to do that, you have to be trading two different accounts. So your broker or the exchange doesn't allow you to open trades in opposite directions at the same time. Yeah. Anyways, that's more of a technical question that you should discuss with your broker and or NinjaTrader's broker, and they can fill you in on the details on doing such a thing, what you can and can't do. So yeah, Joe's got it. Cool.